Hi, I'm Anatol, and this is my reaction video to Dark Season 2, episode number 8, 9, titled Endings and Beginnings, episode number 8. And I can hardly believe I finally got here to the end of Season 2. I began doing reviews of Season 1 in August, I believe. And then I switched to reaction videos for Season 2. So it's been a period of about 6 months working slowly but surely through each episode of Dark. And it's exciting to finally get to the end of Season 2. I'm eager to see where it's going to go. Just one bit of housekeeping. I talk about, at the introduction, I mentioned that I will do a review at the end of the video. But I should just change and say that I might do a review at the end of the video. After my reaction finishes, I will go off camera and I'll watch the episode a couple more times, and then I'll read some criticism on the episode, and then if I feel like I have something to add, I come back and do a review. But I think 95% certain I will do one for this episode because it's the end of the season, so I can summarize my feelings about Season 2 and talk about the highlights and lowlights. So there will be something there for me to talk about. So in any event, join me after the intro and I will give my reaction to Season 2, Episode 8, Endings and Beginnings. We have been here since, like, what, episode 3, 4? Half the season, not in this period. There was the girl that helped Jonas escape, too. We have to find out what happened to her. Don't even know who she was. I don't know if we ever learned her identity. Weren't those the photos that Noah had and gave? Didn't Noah gave those photos to Charlotte, didn't he? So then how did Elizabeth end up with them? So who is the mom? That's where the series definitely seems to be coming down on determinism. 2020, Day of the Apocalypse. I'm guessing this dropped on June 27th. They usually tie up the dates with the series on when it gets released. Wait, no, 2020, that's this year. What am I thinking? Okay, that was Alexander's gun? Yeah, because his mom took it when she found it. Do we have proof of that? We don't have any evidence that anything gets changed by anything they do, because we haven't seen anything different. All we got was that Claudia said that she had been to a world where Jonas didn't exist. Sure. The butterfly effect. Change. One small difference can make a world of difference, but we have no evidence that can happen yet. So she's getting her last minute revelation just like Aegon did last episode. Who knows what he'll find when he goes there. Believe what you're doing is illegal. To the bunker, that's how she survives. Is that how he gets the machine? I'm thinking it is. He's got a gun. I agree with your assessment, but not much I can do. Does he know his ending already? How does he know that? She'll take the gun and use it and it will kill him. Wait, why do you let her take the gun? Why do you let her take the gun? That's stupid.
hatte recht mit allem. Ich hab's euch gesagt. Jonas ist schuld an dieser ganzen Scheiße.
See, I'm not the bad guy, he is. Okay, guys, are we cool now? Are we cool?
Jetzt?
Just how far does your investigation go here that you can go into a nuclear reactor, break stuff open? I gotta confess, I'm a little lost. I'm having trouble keeping all the threads straight. Another one of these these letters, it will seal your fate. So middle-aged Jonas, no go, but younger Jonas, yes. Stop him. Blood's coming out of her mouth. She's done. Should we go to the future? So that way, that goes to 1920, 1953, and 2019, right? Wait, no, 1987, 85, 88. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that's Peter Gabriel. Who the hell is that? The hell? Is that her? From a different reality?
Ich höre, du denkst, wer ich bin.
You're from the universe without Jonas? The hell is that device? So we get a new iteration.
Ich erklär's dir später.
Maybe that lets you jump from realities. That's it? Really, I was not expecting it to end there. Kind of an anticlimactic ending, to be honest, just because it ends so abruptly. Well, my head is definitely spun. I had trouble keeping timelines together. The different time-traveling devices, the one that Jonas used, the middle-aged Jonas used at the end of Season 1, I was getting that confused about where he got it from, so I'm definitely going to need to go online to Reddit. I'm sure the people there worked through the timeline. And usually I watch Mild Fuzz for their review of the episode. In any event, please return. I think 95% guaranteed I'm going to do a review, because then I can sum up the Season 2 at the end. So join me in about 3 seconds and I'll give you my review of Season 2, Episode 8, Endings and Beginnings, if I'm not mistaken. 3, 2, 1. Welcome back. Now I'm going to give my thoughts on the episode, my review, and I have 4 points that I want to get to. And the first one is, I want to clear up the confusion I had while watching the episode. So I am aware that Charlotte and Elizabeth are mother-daughter-mother by the bootstrap paradox. Charlotte is the mother of Elizabeth, who is the mother of Charlotte by way of Noah. I was a bit confused while watching the show, and I couldn't tell that was Elizabeth in the photo. That wasn't clear to me. So because I didn't catch that, I didn't catch any of that relationship. But checking the Reddit forums, and then also, I was not aware that Netflix has an official site for the show, which has character bios and location information. And on the official site for Dark at Netflix, it explicitly says that Charlotte is the daughter of Elizabeth. Elizabeth is the daughter of Charlotte. So that was something I missed the first time around. The second thing I want to discuss is, while watching the episode, I got a little confused over the climax of Season 1. Season 1, Episode 10, where middle-aged Jonas, going back to calling him Jonas again, he activates the time machine, I think it's Tannhauser time machine, H.G. Tannhauser, Tannhaus, and in so doing creates, I'm not sure if it's a wormhole, but he is attempting to close down the portal that exists underneath the nuclear power plant, and in doing that, and the stream, and the time stream, and set the end the cycle, and then set everything to normal by getting rid of himself, blinking himself out of existence. Of course, at that time he wasn't aware of the existence of Adam, but he failed, and then he comes back and he saves the life of his mother, Hannah, I believe, Hannah, just before she's about to kill herself. And so I was wondering, how did he know she was going to kill herself? And if I recall, during my reaction to it, I thought, well, maybe maybe now he's stuck within the time stream itself, and so he can blink in and out. He can travel within time anytime he wants to. But I don't think that's what happened. I think he was aware that she killed. Well, someone posted this on Reddit, their theory that Jonas is aware that that's the day that Hannah kills herself. And she, in his timeline, original timeline, succeeds in killing herself. But after the events of episode 10 on season 1, where he activates Stanhouse's time machine and creates the dark matter bubble, I guess we're going to call it, the God particle, that he then is allowed, he creates an alternate universe, a new time stream where he interrupts her suicide attempt and stops her from doing it. And so he creates a new time stream. And this would also explain later in the episode when Martha comes from an alternate time stream. It could be argued all these different time streams are splitting off from one common point somewhere in the past. I'm not sure where. And that's what happened to Jonas at the end of season 1, which was confusing me during the episode too, because I always wondered just what was the real explanation for how he survived that, and all these people keep interrupting events. For example, Jonas knows when to interrupt when Claudia, I believe it is, Claudia is cleaning up the blood from her hands after the death of her father, Egon. How do all these people know exactly the right time to go? Well, it's either because they knew because that's what they always had done, or they knew because that's what had happened in the previous iteration, the previous age. And in this new age now, the game has been jiggered just a little bit differently. And that's what Jonas says in this episode 8, that things repeat, but you are allowed small changes. You can make small changes in the new age, and then those small changes can lead, one presumes, to significant differences. And so that leads me to the next point about what is the role of Martha in her alternate world, the one where Jonas doesn't exist. And is that a world where Jonas was killed and Martha went on to become the big bad that Jonas is? Jonas becomes Adam. Does Martha become Eve? Does she get corrupted at some point? And is her younger self working against her older self? That was not my idea. That was something someone posted on Reddit, but I thought it was very clever. And it's a possibility that could be where the show's going. And then I believe I discussed this once before in my season 1 series of reviews, and that was the idea of Nietzsche's eternal recurrence. Because these ages repeating are very much in the ilk of Nietzsche's eternal recurrence. And the Nietzsche translator and critic Walter Kaufmann, the primary translator of Nietzsche into English, argued that eternal occurrence was not a belief of Nietzsche, but an intellectual argument. And that even if life is doomed to repetition, the way that we react to that, our emotional reaction, our intellectual reaction to it can be different, that we can own that. We have our own control over how we react to a game that's already been rigged. And so if that's the case, then that is one argument against determinism, in that even if the actions are determined, what we think about them is not determined. And that's a line that future existentialists following after Nietzsche, and even the Christian existentialists like Kierkegaard would follow. So you can see a lot of that question about determinism occurs again and again. It's a huge theme in the show. I'm not sure that the show is ever going to resolve against it. It doesn't feel like it is. Every episode, it feels like the argument becomes more and more in favor of determinism being a thing, rather than being a question, being a fixed determinate thing. Because even if Martha comes from an alternate universe, her interaction in this universe is a set occurrence, and so it's part of the whole rigged system. It's deterministic yet again. And so that leads me to my final point about, are they going to stick the ending? Because we've seen recently, now that television has become more ambitious with serialized stories and production values, that a lot of these programs have a very good concept and they're able to execute it for a good part of the time, but then when it comes time to stick the landing, they can't. So Lost, which is a show that is an influence on this program, that's not just my judgment, that's the words of the showrunners. And I want to thank again one of my viewers who pointed that interview out to me that's on YouTube, where they, in that interview where they talk about Lost, they mentioned that is a huge influence on Dark. And many people, not all but many, feel Lost didn't stick the ending. And then even more recently, Game of Thrones is another program that had a brilliant run. The majority of it, I think you could argue, is brilliant, but then it couldn't stick the ending. And so we have this program that's building up a lot of mystery and hasn't had to resolve a lot of questions. And so are they going to be able to? Because one problem is you may have the answers, but you may not be good at plotting it. You may contrive a lot of things to happen in order to make the answers fit your questions. So this character has to be here. They have to do this to kill this person to make this thing happen. And we've seen some of that already on Dark, but this issue of determinism has been able to sort of hand wave away these actions that, if determinism wasn't a theme, we would all be unhappy with. During the program, I couldn't believe that Noah would allow his sister, what's her head, Agnes, to just take the gun. Like, it's a lethal weapon. Even if it's not working, you're not going to let someone take it from you because you can still use it to bang someone on the head. Why are you letting her take it? Because she has to take it to kill him, not because it's determined, but because the screenwriters, the showrunners have determined this is the part where Noah dies, and so he's going to die regardless of how ludicrous it might sound. And I'm only bringing it up because to now it hasn't been so much of an issue, but I could completely see, because it's happened in the past, when the show has a lot of outstanding issues to address, it hurries the plot up and contrives things to answer them. That was the biggest problem with, I argue, the last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones, but I know some people were happy with that season 7, but the majority of us, because I'm unhappy with season 8, feel, especially those last 3 episodes, were where Deus Ex Machina became an issue, because they had to hurry everything up to hit those marks that the story required them to hit. And I could see that being a danger in season 3 of Dark. But anyway, that's my take on the final episode of season 2, Dark, beginnings and endings, or was it endings and beginnings? I wasn't even aware that the first episode of the season was beginnings and endings. I think this is endings and beginnings, so they're mirroring each other. And actually, season 1, episode 10, and season 2, episode 8, the conclusion of both seasons, mirror each other a little bit. At the end of this episode, we have Elizabeth reaching out for her mom through the God particle, and that's the same thing that happens at the end of season 1 when Jonas reaches out for Helga. And so, yeah, I meant to mention, if Jonas and Helga didn't switch time periods when they connected with each other, but instead switched decades, can we not expect that the same will happen for Elizabeth and Charlotte? That they won't simply swap, and one will go to 2052 and the other will go to, what time was that? To 2020? But then actually they will go to different decades. So we may find that Charlotte goes to 85, or she may go to the past while, yeah, I'm not sure where they're going to end up. But because Jonas and Helga didn't just swap, but jumped decades, I would expect the same would happen to Elizabeth and Charlotte. Anyways, let me know what your thoughts are on the season, and if I missed anything relevant in this last episode you think I should have got the first time around, please point it out for me. And my expectation is season 3 will drop on June 20th, 2020, because season 1, season 2 dropped on Netflix the same day as the season occurred on. So because the events of the apocalypse happen on June 20th, 2020, or June 24th, or some day like that. It's probably a Friday, because that's when Netflix drops its programs. I'm expecting we should see season 3 in June. That's my best guess. So perhaps I'll see you in June when I do season 3, my reaction videos to season 3. Until next time, please take care and be well. Goodbye.